I'm super excited to be here. I'm super excited to move and teach you all these beautiful skills and tools that we're going to acquire together. And I wanted to ask anyone that's here if you have any injuries that you're dealing with, if you could like put them in the chat box, that'd be cool. I'm gonna get a little bit into like how to approach injury in this practice, because quite frankly, I have healed myself with a lot of these skills. I rolled my ankle pretty bad this summer and basically used all of this work to keep the mobility in my ankle and rebuild strength. So if you are dealing with any kind of pain or injury, make sure you approach any of the discomfort that we're gonna come across with extra care, and you might not wanna dig in as deeply into the discomfort as if you were not injured. So that's all I'm gonna say for that. And I'll check the chat box in a moment. But we're gonna start with a seated meditation. You always have the option to do something that feels better in your body. I will always arrive with suggestions and an outline. So if you find sitting on the floor to not be super comfortable, I recommend sitting on one of your blocks. You could even, and a little bit later in class today, we're going to be in a squat on both the blocks. You could even start there today if you felt like more like having your feet nice and rooted and anchored into the floor and feeling a little more powerful in your stance. I'm just gonna do one block. Let it support your hips. That way we can sit up nice and tall. Let's see this mid-back compressed. Okay. Ooh, it'll feel good after today, but thank you for sharing. Yay. All right. So especially when we're seated, if your mid-back is feeling a little bit compressed or your low back is feeling compressed, take a moment. Find the cross-legged that feels good. You could be in a butterfly. You could also be in a low squat. I like to practice my cross-legged seat. And once we're on the block, we're going to zip up, and we'll go deeper into this in a moment after we breathe. But essentially, I want you to think about tilting your pubic bone. It's an anterior tilt, so we're zipping pubic bone to belly button. It's super, super subtle. I'll turn around so you can maybe see. So this is me maybe being kind of just like slumped in the body, and this is me zipped up. It's just like the tiniest little adjustment. So we'll zip up and start to feel really supported in our core, and we're gonna bring the hands to either the lap, or we could bring them to the heart space. You could have left hand on heart space, right hand on your lower belly, your womb. You're welcome to try out a few different hand postures and settle where it feels best to you. And we're just going to take some nice, deep, settling, releasing breaths. So whenever you're ready, nice inhale through the nose. Nice heavy sigh out the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Heavy sigh, exhale out the mouth. 2 more, big inhale through the nose. Heavy exhale out the mouth. Last time, big inhale through the nose. Heavy exhale out the mouth. Next time at the top of your inhale, hold for me. Nice big inhale. Hold at the top and sip. Feel that inhale filling you up even more, expanding through the rib cage and the chest, like you might burst if you were a balloon. And now we're gonna slowly exhale by pursing our lips and blowing out through tiny coffee straw opening, emptying from the collarbones through the chest, belly, low belly, pelvic floor last. Squeeze and hold at the bottom of your exhale, really engage into your pelvic floor muscles and all of your beautiful orifices. Nice big inhale, soften, relax. Feel yourself relax deep in your pelvic floor. Feel your inhale rise all the way up. Low belly, mid belly, rib cage, chest, collarbones. Hold and sip. This time we're going to exhale with a horsey breath. Let those lips flap around, relax through the face. Hold and squeeze at the bottom, really engaging deep into the pelvic floor. Again, big softening. Feel it deep, deep, deep in your root, and then feel that relax you all the way up to your collarbones. Holding and sipping at the top. And this time I just want you to play with oohing, ahhing, humming, hawing, and maybe going from a high to low pitch with your exhale. Feel free to stick your tongue out, get a little bit weird and feral with it. Let's do 2 more. Big, deep inhale. Really soften from root up, hold and sip, expand into that discomfort when we're really, really full of our inhale, and then find a way to control the exhalation. Taking your time, stretching it out, squeezing yourself like kind of like a tube of toothpaste from the top to bottom, squeezing, 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 holding in that now discomfort of the emptiness. And then big, deep inhale. Throughout this series, I want you to play around with different kinds of breathing that feel good for you. We'll always drop into the body first and foremost with breath. So continue trying to slow down the breathing and now bring an awareness to the rest of the body. Imagine I were wherever you're at practicing with a bucket of like golden, delicious, honey warm light, and I'm going to pour it on the crown of your head, and it's going to slowly drip down your crown, down the front of your face, the sides, your ears, the back of your head. It's going to slowly drizzle over your eyes and your nose and your cheekbones and down your jaw. And every place this honey golden light touches, allow yourself to soften and relax and envision a warmth filling up the body. Let it continue down across your collarbones, your chest, your shoulders, your upper back, down your arms, your pecs, your breasts, upper back, mid back, wrapping around your rib cage, into the core, around your belly button, mid back, low back, down into our lower belly and our pelvis, softening all the way down our legs and into our knees and calves and shins and ankles, feet and toes. Make sure we also pay attention to biceps, triceps, down our elbow, forearms, wrists, hands, and fingertips. And allow any kind of what I would call heaviness in the body to translate into a sense of being anchored. Anchored into this moment, anchored into the floor, anchored into this sensational experience of being alive in this incredible biological heaven. It's a universe that we get to inhabit and collaborate with and learn to listen to. And that's what we're going to develop together over 6 weeks. Take a few more breaths. Keep your eyes closed just for a few moments longer. And I want you just to begin to move intuitively. Maybe start with a really slow, gentle head roll. If you want to change the position of your legs, you can go ahead and do that as well. Nice work with your seated meditation. I'm going to check my outline. Keep moving, keep breathing. And If any of you haven't done any drip with me, we're gonna bring in just a little bit of gentle, loving touch on the body. We're gonna layer in just a little bit of this in our practice this round. So just allow your hands to love on your thighs, nice and slowly. Maybe give them a little massage. Come up into your booty, your rib cage. Maybe say hello to your belly. Take a couple breaths into your hands. Maybe to feel good to sway or roll in a big circle. Just allow yourself to wiggle out a little bit. And go ahead and we're gonna bring our second block, if you have just one underneath of you, and stack it underneath, and we're gonna start building some of our skills. And I'll be kind of flowing in and out of sharing music and not just because I want you to be able to hear. And again, if you have any questions, please message me or unmute yourself and ask. All right, so we're gonna break down a lot of basics in these first couple weeks. So it's gonna feel slow, but it's gonna build. And by the time we're done with class today, you'll be on fire anyway. So settle into a slow pace and allow yourself to be really present with what we're learning, because the more you can be connected with this alignment and this aliveness that I'm going to show you, everything that we do, you're gonna be able to get fired up more deep into your joints, deep into your stabilizer muscles, deep into your big musculature. So the foot has an invisible triangle on it. I want you to visualize a spot right beneath your big toe, pinky toe, and heel. It's a triangle and we want equal pressure. So take a moment, just kind of like wiggle your feet out. And if at any point you need to stand up and do this, totally fine. So we're gonna wiggle the feet out and we're gonna feel like we're not pressing too much on the pinky edge or too much on the big toe edge. We're spread out nicely and evenly in our triangle. And now we're gonna start to do what I call the squat torque. So you're gonna literally like grab your toes into the floor and you're gonna start to rotate as if your foot was gonna rotate outward, externally rotate. That's this motion, this way. And again, if you want to do this standing, it might be a little bit easier to feel. And I unfortunately wore really dark pants today, and note to self, they don't show up much here. But you'll notice this is me just standing. I tried to find an angle where you could see my butt earlier. And then this is me with my squat torque on. Do you see my butt move? There's like this little lift happening. And if you're doing the squat torque correctly, so again, we're kind of like talon gripping into the floor. We're not actually twisting the feet out, but it should feel like that's where you would go if you weren't gripped into the floor. So we're activating this like screwing into the floor. It'll fire up your quads more. You might be able to see that. It'll fire up that glute medius. That's what you saw lift my butt. And that's what we're gonna really learn how to utilize is our glute medius. So squat torque. Try it standing. I'm gonna sit back down and feel that squat torque fired up in the ground. So next is gonna be this anterior tilt. We talked a little bit about it before we sat down in breath work. We're going to zip up from pubic bone to belly button. Standing, again, it's just this like little tiny tilt. You'll see I'm taking some of I have a pretty large lordosis, like a lower spine, I forget what this is called, but like a sway back. So I might have to tuck a little bit more, but you're gonna see that your skeleton gets a little more stacked as we do this. And this is gonna protect the lower back, and it's going to force us to use our butt cheeks, our inner thighs, and all of our leg muscles, and then our spine is being supported, and we're gonna move through powerful motions with our squat torque on and our slight zipping up in our lower bellies. So let's turn this on the floor. You should even feel your butt cheeks fire up seated on your blocks, and zip up a little bit in your belly. And then we're gonna grab our PVC and we're just gonna rack it like a barbell. And if you're not sure where it goes, it's fine. There's kind of a natural position on your traps that you'll find. If you don't like having it racked like a barbell, you can always have it in front of you. I call this the Gandalf staff. You shall not pass. So we can use our PVC here to help us find our balance and support us, or we can bring this here, which kind of allows us to activate in our upper bodies. We're gonna take a really slow hip hinge in a moment, keeping our squat torque on in our feet and keeping our zip up. So we're just going to come forward, forward, all the movements coming from my hips, and bring it up, 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 up. Keep the squat torque. Don't let your low back flare out. Again, we're gonna lower, 2, 3, 4, and press, 2, 3. We're gonna do 2 more, and I want you to really think about pushing into the floor with your feet. Push down into the floor, torque into the floor. Here we go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift. 3, 2, 1. Last one. 4, 3, 2, 1, and lift. 3, 2, and 1. Good. Take a little break. If you were doing it, your like quads and your legs should be pretty spicy. Well, I'm gonna move this light so it's not blaring in y'all's eyes. Maybe, if I can figure it out. Well, it's just gonna be there. Okay. Perfect. Just a couple more things seated, and then we'll take a stand. So I'm going to Gandalf staff it this time and bring my PVC in. This is probably your right hand. And then I'm going to drop my left knee as close to the floor as possible, and it's gonna pull up this like pinching in the hip. And I don't want you to use any kind of force. I just want you to use your musculature to pull that knee closer to the floor. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to lift the foot up, and we're gonna switch the PVC to the other hand, and then we're gonna drop this knee in. Interior rotation. We don't work our hips a lot this way, which is why we need to do it. It might get pinchy. Breathe through it. Cramping is totally normal, so we get to like just embrace that. And one more time, each side, switch the PVC. Let's see if we can get a little bit deeper. Really pull that knee down. Try to keep the body nice and tall. Keep that little bit of zip up on. And release. Last time. You can flex or relax the foot, but we're definitely rolling on to the big toe edge of the foot. Again, really pulling, finding this like, you're gonna hear me say the word like magnet or a push and pull. So right now we're gonna, like the floor is a magnet and the inner knee is pulling in. And release. And while we're seated, I'm just going to introduce basically a pass-through, and this is for shoulders. So when it comes to pass-throughs, we can do it seated, we can do it standing. You're gonna wanna find a distance where your arms can stay straightened and you can make it all the way through, and you can kind of feel that. Sometimes you're gonna feel like a crunchiness, a snap, a crackle, and a pop. That's what happens with fascial tissue that is not healthy, and we're gonna make it healthy. If it feels too easy, bring your hands a little closer together. If it feels too difficult or you can't do it without bending your elbows, spread your arms out wider. So take a few more of those. We're just gonna get used to working the PVC a little bit. Open up through the shoulders. And one more time, forward and back. Big breaths. Yay. All right, we're gonna try to squat our way up. So you're gonna walk your feet in just a little bit. We're gonna get our squat torque on in our feet. We're gonna zip up. We're gonna hip hinge just enough that we can get our weight forward so that we can stand up using our glutes. Just gonna sprinkle that in there for now. All right, a couple more things standing, and then we're gonna put together a really fun block flow that I love. So the first thing we're gonna do is just some fun little hip circles. So take as wide of a stance as you want, or you can stay in a little bit narrower. And we're just gonna start to swirl the hips in a big circle. You can be straight-legged, or we can bend the knees. And I just kind of like to use the PVC to lean on so I can get a little bit deeper in my spine of an arch. Or it's been fun to just like feel witchy and burlesque-y and pole dancey and take the PVC in a circle with you. So just play around, do what feels good for a moment. Big straight leg circles, bent knee circles, roll it out. And last thing, we're going to roll over onto the top of the foot. So we're gonna work top of the foot strength another day more, but for now, just go ahead and let's see what this feels like. We're on the top of the foot, curled under, press down into the floor with as much pressure as you can handle. And switch sides. 6, 5, 4, 3, push in, 2, and 1. All right, our last little warm up. We have 2 more things I want to break down, a standing hip hinge and lunging, because we're going to be using those skills later in our flow. So we're going to rack the barbell again, and we're going to take as wide of a stance as you can possibly get. I'll show you this in both directions. So first of all, we're going to have our squat torque on. Even in a wide-legged stance, we can still do this. So see if you can start to turn that on. Then I want you to imagine there's a huge like ball in between your legs that we're squishing. So we're going to press in with our inner thighs, and then we're going to zip up from our pubic bone to our belly button. And now we're going to try a standing hip hinge in a wide-legged stance. So go ahead and fold to flat and then press. Really keep that squat torque. I want you to think about that the most than anything else. Lean, 3, 2, 1, squeeze into the feet. Feel your butt try to help pick you up. It's gonna feel like someone's almost pushing you from behind. And you might not get it right away. I'm just letting you know. It took me many years to learn how to fully activate my glutes. 2 more, fold, 3, 2, keep that squat torque on and press. You might even feel your knees doing more work than they ever have. That's a good thing. And here we go, 4, 3, 2, 1. Squeeze, use those glutes, 3, 2, and 1. Yay! Hopefully that makes sense. Wiggle it out a little bit. And then the last thing we're going to go over is lunging form. So I want you to go ahead and take a split stance. And it's not going to be super wide. Kind of just depends on your makeup. I have crazy long femurs for how short I am. It's just how my body is built. And sometimes I have to take a shorter stance to have my skeleton line up the way it is. And we're all a little bit different. So this is about you feeling what feels stacked. So first of all, our hips, we want to keep them square. They're not twisting this way in a lunge ever. We want to keep them really, really square. So we're in a split stance. The back foot is in what I call the Barbie toe, okay? It's like a pointed ankle, but a flexed toe. So we're high up on our tippy toes. This knee is gonna bend, and we're literally almost like an elevator going straight down. The lunge should not be forward, not right now, at least for this. Usually lunges we want, especially if they're weighted, to have everything in one straight line. So take a few of these, let your PVC help you find your balance. One more time, down and up, and then meet me hovering in the down position. Okay, we're gonna hold here. It's gonna start to get spicy. And I want you to imagine there was an arrow pointing this way from the back, pointing this way from the front. I want you to squeeze in. That should fire up a bunch of stuff in your inner thighs and in your groin. So we're deep in our lunge and we're squeezing inward. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep with me. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and press out of it by pressing straight up. Step it forward, shake it out. We're gonna switch into the other side. Step back, find our Barbie toe, so we're super high lifted heel, super flexed in the toes. We wanna think about going straight down. Bending that knee, coming straight down and straight up. Take a few reps. Y'all are doing awesome. This is when it starts to get spicy. Spicy, spicy. 2 2 more. Go nice and slow. Controlled movement that's where we want to be. Slow and controlled. Gorgeous. Okay, go ahead and meet me hovering just a couple inches off the floor. And now we're gonna work on our squeeze in. And next time we do these, we're gonna be squeezing while we lower. Hold here. See if you can drop lower. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and press straight out of it. Step through, shake it out. Getting spicy. And grab some water. We're already like 30 minutes into class. This format always flies by to me. All right. Water, take a breather, making sure I got everything. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna break down this flow. And this may be everything we do today. We'll see. I think we'll have time to go through everything I'm planning on, but this one's super fun. So you really only need 1 block at a time. We're gonna do this whole flow on each leg twice. And I'm just gonna turn a little bit to the side because I think that's a little bit easier for you to see. So how we're going to begin is bringing the ball of the foot to the cliff edge of your block. First of all, you can rock a little bit side to side, especially if you have a cork block. This will massage the bottom of your foot. Feels kind of nice. The next thing we're gonna play around with is bending slightly in the knee, trying to not let the heel come off the floor, and work into our ankle flexion. How deeply can our ankle flex? This way. So just press in. You can do a little pumps. This is kind of a position to catch your breath to where we begin and end in this little flow. Okay. Next, we're gonna bring the ball of the foot to the center of the block, and we're gonna come into our Barbie toe. And we're going to do high lift on the back foot. We're gonna do an elevated 1-footed lunge. We're gonna hold and squeeze. Squeeze inward. Get up as high as you can on this toe. Ooh. And come out of it. Now we're gonna bring foot flat. You're always welcome to do foot flat on the floor if it's not working on the block. And this time we're going to lunge forward again, scoot that back foot back a little bit. We're gonna lunge forward, and this time we are gonna try to come as deep as possible into our ankle flexion and our knee flexion. And I promise you, knees over toes, is where it's at. A lot of people from the 80s have a weird fear about letting their knees go past their toes. And our knees are supposed to go super past our ankles and our toes. That's how they're built. So right now I want you to press into this deep ankle flexion, deep knee flexion. Then we're gonna drop the knee, untuck the toe, and we're gonna press all the way back into a half split. From here, I let my PVC rest on my shoulder, and I use it to help me stretch. We really wanna think about belly button coming towards the floor. If you're uncomfortable being on top of your foot, I'm literally sitting on the top of my foot right now. You can let it come to the inside of your thigh instead. But this practice isn't necessarily supposed to be that comfortable. So maybe breathe into the discomfort. We're now gonna be breathing a little bit more shallow. 2 to 3 second inhale through the nose. Maybe a 2 to 3 second exhale out the mouth. Release some of this heat you're feeling and building. Okay, bring your PVC back down to help you. We're gonna pull forward. For those of you that are finding it difficult to move around on the floor, before you build up this mobility strength, you can bring this other block here and kind of push yourself up. Then we're going to come into a pyramid pose. So we're gonna stand up, come into a shorter stance here. Both toes pointing the same way. And we're going to lean forward. If you want to bring a hand to the leg, keep it above the knee or below the knee. I've been taking my hand and grabbing this back glute and pulling it. Because when I do this, my hips want to twirl and I want to keep them square. So I've been kind of grabbing my butt as my own alignment cue. Really feel into this nice stretch in the calf and the hamstring. Big breaths. All right, go ahead and press up and shake it out. We're gonna do that one more time. So we're gonna start again with ball the foot on the edge of the block. Start to wiggle it out, side to side. When you're ready, we're gonna bring ball that foot to the center of the block, come high on our tippy toe, allow your PVC to support you. Oop, we're knocking shit over here. We're gonna lift this back heel up. Now I'm on the Barbie toe on both ends, front and back. We're gonna lower down, slow. See if you can get higher on this toe. Think more about this front foot and then squeezing in. Hold, let it shake, breathe into it. Feel strong in your core. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stand it up, reset. Foot is now flat. We're gonna scoot this foot back a little bit more so we can get into a nice deep lunge. And then see if we can press forward as far as possible. Go to where your heel starts to lift up off the block, but then try to fight for it to stay on the block. Deep, deep lunge. We're feeling stretching in the hip flexor on the extended back leg. Probably burning in the shin and the knee here. All right, beautiful. Drop this back knee, untuck the toes, press back to your half split. If you can reach your foot, maybe with the other hand, we can flex that foot, and then we're pressing in the PVC. I find this keeps me aware of my spine maintaining its length. You're never gonna, unless I cue a cat-cow, we're really gonna try to have a proud chest all the time. We're never collapsed in here. We're nice and supported and tall. All right, come forward, tuck the toe under, kind of slide that foot forward, and pyramid pose. Last time on this side, find your breath. Challenge your balance. If at any point you feel like you want this to be harder, don't use your PVC. Challenge your balance a little bit more. Nice, bend that front knee. Come out of it, shake it out. Whew. And we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So when you're ready, let's go ahead and switch. Ball of the foot on the block. Let's go ahead and rotate from side to side, massage out the bottom of your foot. So hopefully you're feeling your heart rate start to raise and your body start to get warm. This practice creates a warmth from deep in the core because we're using big core muscles. And if you haven't heard me talk about it, the core is our shoulders to our hips. So this whole series is really about building a collaboration with all our joints. So they work well together. All right, we're gonna lift up high on this tippy toe. High on the tippy toes of the back foot. Get as set up as you need to. When you're ready, go ahead and lower into your lunge. Really think about coming as extended as possible in this front foot. Now squeeze in. Gorgeous, press out of it. Bring that foot flat on the block, or again, it can just be on the floor if the block doesn't work. I happen to have the perfect size feet for this. I know that might not be everyone. Go ahead and slide that back foot back, and let's get deep into our lunge where we can come forward. So I'm recovering from an ankle injury, the ankle we just worked on. And then this hip, I have a bunch of things happening. So again, if you're coming into pain or discomfort, you figure out how deep you need to go, how shallow you need to be. If you want to put the knee down and just relax here, do that. Please modify as needed. Let's sit back into our half split. Whew. Big breaths. Flex the toes. Maybe use the other hand to reach it. When you're ready, let's transition out of this to our pyramid pose. So bring the weight into the front foot, tuck the toe under, kind of slide in a little bit, straighten the legs. I'm gonna grab that butt cheek. Now I'm on this back cheek and I'm gonna kind of pull it out so I can remind my hips to stay nice and square. Woo. And square just means stacked. We're in line with our shoulders. We're not spiraling. Big breath, sink into this stretch in the front leg. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Press out of it, bend the knee, shake it out. We got one more round with this leg. When you're ready, bring the ball of the foot back to the block. Wiggle it a little bit side to side, massage out the ball of the foot. And then dig into this ankle flexion. This is like a warm up for the lunge that comes later. So just kind of press into that flexion. All right, adjust your feet. Lift, lift up, lift, lift, whoop, whoop. Make sure we're zipping up, and we're gonna lower, and we're squeezing. Front foot pulls in, back foot is like pulling forward. Front foot's pulling back. Lift higher. Higher on the toes, higher in the ankle. 4, 3, 2, and 1. If your legs aren't shaking yet, let me know. Here we go, let's come into our deep lunge. And we're trying to get far over, let that knee extend to see what that feels like. Again, if that's too intense in your hip flexor of this back leg, set the knee down and just breathe into this deep lunge. 4, 3, 2, and half split. Drop the knee, untuck the toe, come back. And as you start to build strength in the joints, you're gonna be able to make these transitions smoother. That's one of the winks that you're beginning to increase your strength in a deep range of motion is fluidity. With how much control can you go from one place to another? All right, here we go, pyramid pose, last time on this side. Find your breath. All right, woo. Stand up, bend the knee, step off the block, shake it out, grab some water, and we're gonna move on to our squat section, which we're gonna do with 2 blocks. So again, I've never done this on blocks with a class before. So if it doesn't work for your body, the other option I have for you is to get like a towel at your house, or let's see. I think a rolled up mat could even work well. So what we're trying to do is we're going to try to get our heels on these blocks. So we're basically like getting into a Barbie toe assisted with the block. Again, it works for my feet. Maybe if you had smaller feet, this would be too much of a lift in your heel. If that's the case, you could roll a towel. Like I said, I'm gonna just try this real quick because this could be another option, is if you had another yoga mat. This one's pretty beefy. Like, we just want our heels to be elevated. Oh yeah, that'd be perfect. A yoga mat would be perfect. So I want you to be able to elevate your heels. It's gonna help us get really deep in a squat. Really, really, really deep. So let me get all set up. I'm gonna put some music on once we get going. So heels on the edges. See what this feels like. Let's bring our PVC into our Gandalf position. Zip up, and little tiny squat torque. It's mostly in our toes since our heels are lifted. Tiny squat torque, zip up. We're gonna lower, 3, 2, 1, and I want you to hold. I don't want you to completely relax. We're gonna get there in a second. So we're gonna hold, 2, 3, 4, and press. 2, 3, 4, and lower. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, lift. 2, 3, 4, this time lower. 2, 3, 4, hold. 2, 3, 4, relax. Woo! And then from here, turn a little bit. Once we get down on the bottom, we're gonna work on, and this is for anyone who ever wants to dance in heels. Basically, this is how you would feel if you were all the way on the floor in a pair of high heels. So we're gonna bring our knees in and out. So take turns with which side you have your PVC on. This is gonna start to get tippy. Just know that falling over in class is an excellent wink, again, that you're pushing your edges, that you're getting into that place that is uncomfortable in the body, and that's how we get feedback. So we're just gonna like swirl our hips. If you want to, eventually we're gonna do these like butterflies. Oh, and your shins and your knees and your booty are gonna start to burn, but it's just so fun and saucy. So we're going to rotate and roll, or we're gonna kind of do like an in, out with the knees. The last thing I'm gonna, oh my God, it's burning so bad. The last thing I'm gonna sprinkle into your mind is a little bit of a glute twerk. So we're gonna squeeze our glute medius if we can, or just try. And we're going to do that when our knees are wide. Bring the knees in, we tuck, bring the knees out, arch and scoop. Try to lift with the booty. Bring the knees in and tuck, out and scoop. One more time, my shins are on fire. Out and scoop. And then you can always do some little like booty bounces here. Let's go ahead and stand up. Use your PVC and shake it out, because holy cow. Holy cow. The front sides of my legs are on fire. Let's go ahead and take a little top of the foot. But check out how that feels compared to the first time we did this in class, probably like 30 minutes ago. Yay, okay, good, you're feeling it. I love this. I kind of think maybe we should not do that over and over again, because for me, my shins are already gonna fall off. So let me teach you. Yeah, we're gonna combine this with the second flow, because I think, oh yeah, we have perfect amount of time. Okay, let me check if there's other things other than just like, hell yeah, cheers. Okay, cool, I love you guys, you're doing amazing. Okay, so we're gonna take a break, we're gonna layer this in with a one-legged balancing series. So let's go ahead and bring this front foot, we're on one block. And it's up to you, again, if you even want to be on the block. I like how it makes me balance more. So we're on one block, and I just want you to find your PVC with your back leg, kind of like hug it in to your side like a soldier. And as you tilt forward, we're going to try to come into like an airplane. This is going to help keep you accountable for staying straight. I don't want your chest to collapse and your leg to come up high, or vice versa. So even if you only hip hinge to like here, make sure from your crown to your foot is a long line. We're either gonna flex the foot or point the toes and then come back up. If that's too much and you're falling all over the place, Gandalf it and allow this to take you and walk the hands down, and then we're gonna come up. Let's hip hinge one more time. Woo. And again, falling is a good sign. The most you're gonna fall is 3 inches off your block. And stand it back up. Once we're standing, we are going to bring this knee up. I call this like flamingo pose. So we're gonna bring our knee up, and we're going to flex and extend, point and bend. Flex and extend, point and bend, flex and extend. Now we're gonna bend but keep it flexed. And next we're gonna internally rotate. So I'm gonna kick my ankle out while I'm keeping my knee high. Internally rotate, make a big circle like I'm donkey kicking behind me, and then we're gonna bring it all the way down. Let me maybe do this way. So again, we're gonna donkey kick back up, lift the knee, drop the ankle, bring it around, and back to the front. You should feel this deep in your hip joint. We're trying to get into our end range of motion, meaning the biggest circle possible. One more time. Kick the ankle out, keep the knee high and lifted. Come around, keep it high, keep it high, keep it high, keep it high. Drop the knee, extend the leg down just so we can feel that fluidity. And when you're ready, flex, up, donkey kick out, lift that knee, come back around, woo, woo, woo. And then the last fun thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna practice what I call walking on water. And this is a little bit of a burlesque move. And while we're on this block, it gives us this spaciousness to skim our toes along the floor. And it's a fun, again, balancing thing. And then if you want to get more of a spinal wave, my balance is out. We can get the spinal wave going with it. Woo! All right, let's do the other leg. And then we'll put it all together and jam out to some music. Oh my goodness. So should be other foot on the block. Again, if you liked having the PVC here to keep you nice and accountable for being straight, we're gonna find this is in the fitness world called an RDL, a Romanian deadlift. It's also like a warrior pose in yoga. Again, we're trying to keep crown of the head to toes activated. So point or flex through those toes. Please fall over. If you're not falling over, push your edges. Go a little deeper. And then just giggle at yourself when you fall over, because failure is growth. That's how our body knows, like, ooh, I guess I better get better at balancing because I'm getting tested. Woo, okay, we're up. We're bringing this knee up. We're going to flex, extend. You can always put the hand on the hip if that's nice for you. Flex, extend, lift, flex, extend, point, and lift. Last time, flex, extend, point, and lift. We're gonna flex the foot. We're gonna drop this knee in, kick the ankle out, go slow. Draw this circle. This isn't supposed to look a certain way, it's supposed to feel a certain way. Deep, deep, deep in your hip. And make sure you're not arching your back too much. I did a bad job of extending through that, but let's go ahead and flex and go backwards. We're gonna donkey kick out, rotate, get deep into the hip. Don't let the back do your work. Let the hip do the work. Bring it forward. Last time, kick that ankle out. Let the ankle lead, lift it high like it's on a little string. Drop the knee, square the ankle, extend the leg. One more time, bring it back. Donkey kick, around, oh gosh. Lift, 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 round, round. Ooh-wee. And then we end, if you're not, already tired enough, with our little walking on water. One or two more. Feel free to love on your body, touch on your body. And oh my God, those are just getting me in the ass. Holy shit, my legs feel like jello. Welcome to Strength and Mobility. When you're done, you're gonna be like walking around your house like a wet noodle. Okay, I'm getting sweaty, so take a minute, grab some water, hydrate a little bit. So we're gonna do all of that again, starting with our elevated squats. So I'm gonna put some music on, get set up. Gotta have those heels really high up on the blocks. Here we go. Maybe? Yeah. Okay, so let's turn on our squat torque. Toes, zip up, pubic bone to belly button. Here we go. We're gonna lower. 4, 3, 2, hover, tilt, hold. 3, 2, 1, go up slow. I know, you're probably shaking, but you can do it. 2 and 1, again lower. 4, 3, 2, hold, keep that tuck, keep your torque. Let your butt help you. Lift, 4, 3, ooh, go slower. I went too fast. Again, lower, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, activate, activate, activate. Last one, press. 3, 2, 1, last lower. 4, 3, 2, hold, squeeze. 4, 3, 2, and release it. All right, babies, whatever you want to do. Ins and outs. I'll turn a little bit to this side. Maybe play with a full Tootsie Roll. Or again, in. Let the tailbone tilt under. Out. Let the tailbone tilt up. Let your glutes pull it. It's not just an arch. It's actually my glutes pulling. In and out. We're going to stay here a little bit longer. Play until those shins burn. Woo! 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring yourself up. Shake it out. Sweet, sweet goodness. Okay, let's hit up our balancing. Whichever leg you want. This is your left leg, my right. If you are ready to try balancing without your PVC, you're just going to let the PVC drop you down and up. Remember, you don't have to become all the way parallel with the floor. We just need to keep a nice tall stance. We got 2 more. We're doing 4 total. Point or flex through the toes or the foot. If you can't get parallel to the floor, go until you feel it pulling in this back hamstring, yeah? I'm turned the wrong way for this leg. All right, here we go. Stand it up into our flamingo pose. We're going to flex, extend, point, and bend. Flex, extend, point, flex, and bend. And that was an extension. I'm getting my flexions and extensions mixed up, but it's cool. Here we go. Circles. Slow. Keep it in the hip. Mind your low back. Try to keep it zipped up. Again, I'm basically taking an 8 count. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take it back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And walk on water. Slight bend in the knee of our standing leg. Woo! One more. Okay, other leg, and then we're done with this one, and we'll see what time it is. That might be all we have time for today. Good night. Okay, whenever you're ready, we have our RDLs, our warrior airplane poses, whatever you want to call these. It's really about this leg here. Think about your standing leg. Think about torquing even with one foot. Radiate through both legs. I've got one more. Stand it up. Flamingo pose. We flex and extend, point and bend. Flex the foot, extend the leg, point and bend. Lift a little bit. Flex and extend, point and bend, flex and extend, and point and bend. Flex the foot, start our standing hip rotation. So these are more traditionally in the fitness world called CARs. Controlled articulated rotations. I'm pretty sure that's what it stands for. It's a whole body of science that I have studied. I just like Pilates and ballet and dance shit too, so. But the point of these is just literally getting our joints to rotate in their full articulated, as much as possible rotations. Whew, last time, bring it up. So go slow. I know it's hard. All right, and walk on water last time. Woohoo! Last one. This is a harder side for me. Shake it out, my loves. Shake it out, shake it out. Wiggle out the booty. Like full on shake it. Shake it out, shake it out. Okay, I'm gonna sprinkle like one tiny thing because we still have 13 minutes and I think that means I can do a little more. Yeah. I'm just gonna introduce to you so this is like a calf flow, I suppose. So we're gonna be on both blocks again. This time, ball of the feet is like mid-block so that we can have our heels off the back end of the block, off the back end of the cliff edge so we can get a really big calf raise. So we're gonna do a little calf raising. So let your heels really drop, maybe even lift your toes up when they drop, and then press all 10 toes in and lift. Let's go really slow. Lower, drop the heels, lift up all of your toes, but keep the balls of the feet pressed in. Press through 10 toes, then lift. Drop the heels, lift just the toes, press the toes, lift the heels, drop the heels, lift the toes, drop the toes, lift the heels. 2 more, drop the heels, lift the toes, press the toes, lift the heels, drop the heels, lift the toes, drop the toes, lift the heels. Stay here, keep holding. This next part is gonna feel like, I don't know, you're trying to break your ankles, but I promise you're not. We're gonna try to make ankle circles. So I want you, without much going on in your feet or your knees, we're gonna squeeze our ankles in. And your blocks might wobble, trust yourself, okay? Squeeze in, and we're gonna ankle rotate out. This is the part to me that feels like I'm trying to break my ankles. Then we're gonna lower down, bring the heels together, squeeze them in, and lift. So again, we're going out, out, dropping the heels slowly, dipping down, coming together. Let's do 2 more. Lift up, we're kind of squeezing the ankles in, then out, down, together. Go ahead and lift up through, out, down, around, and together. Now switch. We're gonna go out, to up, to in, to down. This is gonna feel a bit more like a first position any of you dancers, but we're not actually turning our toes. It's all happening in our ankle joints. I find this one to be a harder circle, but try your best. So we're going wide out, woo! Up, and down, in and down, last one, out, around, in and down. I need to split my blocks out just a little bit. We're now gonna lower down in a toe squat. So stay high on those tippy toes, just like we were practicing, except we are gonna come all the way down to our relaxed position. This is the last thing we're gonna do today. Walk your PVC out, drop your hips as low as they'll go. Not hips, knees. Drop your knees as low as they'll go. Stay there. I'm going to show you what this looks like to the side. This is called a sissy squat. High on ankles, knees are dropped really low. You could even reach back if you want to stretch through the toes and the ankles. I like to stay a little more active, or sometimes I like to find my balance with it. Lift my PVC off the floor. You can always have one hand to like break dance catch you, okay? Let's come back into our toe squat in the bottom. Come back up, lower the heels. Walk it out. We're gonna do that just one more time so we can get it kind of in the head before we wrap up today. And let's just do some calf raisers. So walk it back so heels can be off the edge. We're going to lift and lower. Where's our music? Okay, hold on, I'm gonna start a new song. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lift. Beautiful. We're going to do 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Really squeeze, really squeeze. And if you want a little bit extra yum, squeeze in your inner thighs, like there's a block between your knees. And hold, lower. 4, 3, 2, 1. Sissy squat. Play with your sissy squat. Eight, 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arrive back to the bottom. High on these tippy toes. Really bring those heels forward. Here we go. Stand it up. And release. Let it go. Shake it out. So we usually do that several times and play around with some more hip stuff, but don't worry. We'll come back to it another day. Oh my goodness gracious. Grab yourself your water. Take a little shake out again. Maybe top of the feet. Stretch. I think we're also done with our PVC. Well, let's just keep it just in case. And meet me on the floor. We're gonna wrap up on the floor. So the reason I love props so much is it actually requests us to engage more usually. So please, again, always modify what you need. I'll try to give you lots of options. We're essentially gonna set up this 90-90 hip situation into a pigeon pose. So you're gonna be in this position here. I call it the 90-90 because they're not exactly 90 degrees, they're a little bit less, but it's like in this 90-90 position. We're either gonna have the hands framed around the front leg on what I call TP hands or Spider-Man fingers high on the fingertips, or we're gonna use our PVC on the outside of the hip of the knee that's bent, and we're gonna push into the floor. We're gonna use our shoulder strength and we're gonna like help push into the floor. So I'm gonna do that option with the PVC. What we're trying to do is we're gonna try to lift this back heel up off the floor. 3, 2, and lower. Then we're gonna lift the knee up and try to, as if someone were pulling on this top part of our pants, pull. 3, 2, and lower. Now, I don't have the best posture in this because I'm still working on this mobility. We are trying to stay really tall, but sometimes you'll need to lean forward to get a little bit of a lift, and that's okay. Or if you can't lift at all, also okay, because we'll eventually get there. And lower down. Let's go ahead and lift the knee. Really pull, pull, pull with all your musculature, and lower down. And then lift the ankle. And lower, lift the knee. One more time. Lower, lift the ankle. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift the knee. 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm gonna set my PVC down. Bring my hands forward so I can press this leg back, and now I'm in my pigeon pose. This is not feeling good in your body. What you're gonna do is you're going to roll onto your back, hug an ankle on the knee, and do reclined pigeon. For those of you that are with me, we're here in our pigeon pose. We're gonna do a little bit of activation in the pigeon pose, so don't settle into it yet. So, press the top of the foot down into the floor. I want you to find what I call the mermaid on the pirate ship. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Keep your pelvic tilt happening. We don't want to dump into the low back. This arching can come from the upper back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And we're going to try to lower ourselves a hip hinge towards the floor. And then we're going to come back up into this flying pigeon. If you need to help yourself, come back to those high fingertips and just allow your body to lower. And then lift. And then we're gonna lower all the way down. I love a block under my rib cage. I'm gonna start a little bit higher today. We're gonna find our deep breath that we practiced at the very beginning of class. Nice big inhale through the nose. Heavy sigh, exhale out the mouth. If it starts to become super comfortable and you're propped, maybe go lower on your prop. All right, go ahead and slowly walk your hands up. Let's go ahead and bend the knee of that back leg, and if it feels good, we're gonna reach back for the foot and just get a nice little quad stretch. Or just trying is gonna get us there. And release, let go. We're gonna come back into our 90-90 position. And we're gonna practice what I call the windshield wiper with no hands. First, let's do it with hands. We're gonna bring our hands behind us, and you're gonna open your knees and switch to the 90-90 on the other side. Open the knees, get deep into those hips, switch. Let's try no hands. I like to keep my hands maybe like heart center or on my shoulders. The more we can do without the use of our hands, the more mobility and like space we're creating in our joints. Okay, one more time to our 90-90 on the other side. I'm gonna get readjusted and grab my PVC. Move a block over here. Okay, so when you're ready, we're gonna press down into this PVC. We're gonna try to pick up this back heel. And lower, lift the knee. It helps if you're pushing down into the floor with this arm and lower. Lift the ankle. Lift the knee. 4, 3, 2, lower. Lift the ankle. Lift the knee. I think we have one more, or we're doing an extra. It doesn't matter. Lower. Let's go ahead and lift that ankle. 4, 3, 2, and lower. Lift the knee. 4, 3, like someone's tugging on you. 2, and 1. Set it down. Bring the hands forward. Let's see if we can extend through that leg and press into our pigeon pose. If that feels good and you want to stay here, kick it here with me. If you want to go into reclined pigeon, get after it. Let's find our maiden on the pirate ship. Squeeze those shoulder blades, hip hinge. Slowly. Again, if you need help, we can gently assist with our hands. Lower. Press up. We're gonna do it one more time. And now go ahead and settle into your pose. We're gonna relax. Find our deep, deep breaths. Big, heavy sighs, maybe horsey breath or some crazy Star Wars noises. Choo, 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 pew, pew, pew. Maybe you need to growl a little bit. And these end poses we're trying to melt into. We're not trying to force these kind of restorative poses. These are more about surrendering to the pose and being in stillness. So not too much engagement happening here. Really try to relax. Let your eyes close. Let your breath become heavy. Slowly walk yourself up. Go ahead and bend that back knee. If you'd like to try to grab the foot. When I started yoga, I couldn't reach it, but I tried. And then one day it just happened. So this practice takes a lot of consistency and dedication. And it's hard pretty much all the time, but it does get easier. All right, release it out. Let's try a few of our little windshield wiper no hands. This is just a really great exercise for our hips. And if you can't do it, bring your hands back. And really press into it. Don't be sloppy in it. If you're gonna use your hands, press, press, press. All right, legs in the air. Do a little stripper shimmy. Woo! That's my applause for today. Okay, I'm just 1 minute over. We did start 5 minutes after the hour, but I try to keep us pretty timely. I'm just gonna sit on the block really quick, take a moment to close out our container, thank our bodies for their hard work, and thank ourselves for being present today, carving out this time, making this commitment, showing up for yourself. I love this practice. So take a moment, take a nice big inhale, open your arms out wide, let your chin lift up, and then exhale, hug yourself. Notice which arm is on top. Walk those fingertips slowly in towards your shoulder blades. Pull the shoulder blades slightly apart, tuck and round. Shower yourself with love and gratitude, compassion and kindness. Big inhale, open up arms, open up chest, open up chin, and now cross the other arm on top. Walk those fingertips back to your shoulder blades. Gently pull, tuck, and round. Big breaths. Send yourself all the love, all the gratitude. And let's send each other, who's on this call now and whoever was going to join us recorded, sending you love and gratitude. Nice big inhale. Open up those arms one last time. And then take a little bow. And give yourself a round of applause. Week 1 in the books. If you want to stick around and ask me any questions, please do so. I'll stay on the Zoom. We'll be using the same link every week. I'll get the recording up usually within 24 hours. It'll show up on the document. And I do recommend, especially these first 3 classes before we start combining a lot of these movements, to do this class again sometime midweek. Yeah?